The most profitable businesses in the world all start by getting this one thing right at the beginning of their business. And in my experience, it's also the thing that entrepreneurs are most likely to skip over, which is why they struggle. We're gonna fix that in this video and show you how getting this right can transform your business and put you back on the path to $1 million business and beyond. Imagine that you had customers all around the world who loved your product. And imagine that they loved it so much that they were willing to pay 2 times, maybe even 3 times as much for your product. They told all of their friends about how great your product was. So you had free word of mouth advertising every time you sold a new product. If that was true, then you would have more profit to be able to develop great products. And if you developed great products, then you would have a higher chance of having really happy customers who told their friends about you and were willing to pay a premium versus everybody else. This is possible when you get one thing right at the beginning of your business, which is very simply, who are we in business to serve? That is when we have the most profit to be able to serve that person. Here's why. The most profitable businesses in the world start by having one core group of people that they are solving problems for. Now, it doesn't always stay the same group of people. They often branch out and serve a bigger group of people later. But at the beginning of the business, they almost always start with a very small group of people that they're serving. And because they're the only brand or the only business that serves that person, all of those people find out about your product or your business. And because all of those people see you as the brand that serves them, they're almost always willing to pay a premium because you are the person that is serving them and helping them overcome their challenges. So in this video, my invitation to you is to choose one person that you will serve in your business. And for the rest of this video, I'm going to convince you why that might be the most profitable thing that you can do in your business. In fact, it's why it is the first step that I walk all entrepreneurs through when I'm working with them. That includes first-time entrepreneurs who have never built a business before, but read my book called 12 Months to 1 Million, and they see $1 million business just 12 months away. I put them through this process. But it's also true for the entrepreneurs that are stuck at $1 or $2 million because they missed this step. They got good at convincing people to buy their product, or they got a lot of free exposure from social media or from search engine optimization or from Amazon.com. But they don't have a core person that is willing to pay twice as much money for their product as another product. So they're always worried that they're gonna go out of business or someone's gonna undercut them. I put them through this process as well. Now, if you're new here, my name's Ryan. I help entrepreneurs build $1 million businesses. I sold a business a few years ago for $16 million, and I now run a fund that invests in entrepreneurs, oftentimes the entrepreneurs who follow my work and follow this process that I'm going to be walking you through over the next 8 weeks. I have 8 steps to building $1 million business. And I wrote a book called 12 Months to 1 Million that sold hundreds of thousands of copies, and hundreds of people said was the reason that they built $1 million business. I'm gonna be laying out all of the steps over the next 8 weeks, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel to see the entire series. Before we address what the product is, what the industry is, what your marketing strategy is, what platform you're gonna be on, what tactics to use, we first start with the problem that we are solving for a specific person. Now, to illustrate this, let me show you a clip from my cousin Jeff, who has done this really well.
I believe that if you can focus obsessively enough on customer experience, selection, ease of use, low prices, more information to make purchase decisions with, if you can give customers all that, plus great customer service, then I think you have a good chance. And that's what we're trying to do.
You're not really a pure internet company anymore either, are you? I mean, you've got millions of square feet now of real estate. You've got a huge and growing inventory of items that you keep in stock.
We do whatever.
And you've got thousands and thousands of employees now.
Yeah, we have over 3,000 employees and over 4 million square feet of distribution center space. And those are things I'm very, very proud of, because with that distribution center space and half a dozen distribution centers around the country, it allows us to get product close to customers so that we can ship it to customers in a very timely way, which improves customer service levels. That's what we're about. If there's one thing Amazon.com .com is about. It's obsessive attention to the customer experience, end to end.
Now, did you notice in this clip how Jeff was asked, hey, are you even an internet company anymore? You've got all this office space and you have 3,000 employees. And Jeff is very clearly saying, we're in this business to create value for the customer. It doesn't matter how we're doing it. It doesn't matter how that unfolds. We're in the value creation business for a specific person. And because of that, years later, he has the biggest company in the world. At the time, their relentless focus was how do we create as much value for one specific type of person? And that was the consumer who was buying books. People forget that Amazon was kind of a niche business at the beginning. A good way to illustrate this would be to look at a company like Cliff Bar. Most people have eaten a Cliff Bar, but what you might not know is that the company launched in 1991, and it was basically a food bar for endurance athletes. If you read the story about the founder, he ate a lot of power bars. Power bars were the big player in the protein space at the time, and the founder was on basically an endurance race, and he had all these protein bars, and he just couldn't eat another power bar.
I turned to my friend Jay and I said, I can make a better energy bar than this. A year and a half from that moment, we launched Cliff Bar in February of 1992.
So he started this whole food bar called Cliff Bar, and he started selling it in bike shops, not Target, not Walgreens, not Whole Foods, but in bike shops. And in 1991, Cliff Bar did $700,000 in sales. Not bad for a brand new business in 1991 that was just selling food bars in bike shops. It started with a very core group of people. Now, fast forward 20 years, most people in the United States have eaten a Cliff Bar, whether you are an endurance athlete or not. But it started by going after one core group of people, and that core group of people took the product to the masses. 2 years ago, Cliff Bar was acquired by Mondelez for $2.9 billion. The takeaway here is that most people will look at how Cliff Bar ended. They will see big exit for $2.9 billion. How did they do it? Well, I'm going to need distribution in all of these grocery stores, and I'm going to need everybody in America to try my protein bar. But the real way to get there is by choosing one specific person that you're going to make the product for and market it to and let them take it to everybody else. A more modern example of this would be RX Bar, which was founded in 2013, and it was basically a protein bar for CrossFitters. It's a very similar story to Cliff Bar. It's not like there was a lack of food bars in the marketplace. It was just that Peter, the founder, was doing CrossFit, and in the CrossFit community, they were eating mostly paleo, and there was no good paleo bar. And so he started RX Bar. RX is a hat tip to CrossFitters, so it's a CrossFit reference, and it had paleo ingredients, and he started bringing it to his CrossFit gyms. But guess what? CrossFitters started picking up this bar, and they started bringing it to everybody else. And then 4 years later, RX Bar was sold to Kellogg's for $600 million. Again, not bad for a guy who was just selling protein bars to his buddies that he was doing CrossFit with. Once again, most people will see this and say, what did they do well? They had all this market distribution. Oh, it's the clean ingredients that did it. Maybe it's the packaging that did it. But they missed the most important step, which is that, again, in this example, the founder started with one clear person that he was serving, and all of his marketing and all of his product design went to serve that person. And that customer group took it to everybody else. Now, let me tell you how this impacted one of the brands that I built, and then I'll tell you how I got this wrong. I forgot this lesson and had to relearn it. When I started my most successful venture, I started in 2013, we launched to people like me. I, at the time, was a skinny hard gainer who was trying to put on some muscle. And I had a supplement company that served that demographic because that was me. I understood those pain points and I wanted to solve my own challenges on that journey. And for 2 years, we increased at least 100% year over year. And then in year 3.5, we made a mistake. And that mistake was that we stopped launching products that served that core demographic. And we started launching products that we saw the competitors in our space starting to launch that were growing really quickly. And we said, wow, that brand over there that doesn't serve our core demographic, they're selling this product and they're selling a ton of it. We should copy them and try to get some of that market share. And we launched a bunch of products on a generic line of the business. And that was the 1 year that our business didn't grow. And we ended up cutting all of those products because our core customers did not want those products. And they did not expect to buy those products from us. They expected to buy those products from other people that specialized in that niche. They wanted more products from us that were about gaining muscle and exercise performance and overall optimization of health. That's what we should have stuck to. And when we went back to that, the business started growing 100% per year again. And then we had a $16 million exit. Had we not come back to the core demographic, the core person that we were serving, the business would have plateaued. And this happens often with entrepreneurs. They can't figure out why they're stuck, why they plateaued, or why nobody wants their product. And it's because they skipped over the most fundamental question, which is choosing who it's for. If you're struggling with this question, you're not sure where to go or how to navigate this, don't worry, I got you. We'll cover that next. Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or Harry Potter? All of these stories have to do with the average person becoming a hero. And they don't start out as a hero. They become a hero. And the only reason why they become a hero is because they overcome challenges along the way. In fact, without challenges, you have no hero. Nobody respects the character in the movie that starts as the hero and just stays the hero. They love the story of the person who becomes the hero by going on an adventure and overcoming challenges along the way. I think maybe the best way to illustrate this is to look at WWE. Now, I've never seen WWE, but everyone knows that the Universal Champion right now is Cody Rhodes. Now, of course, Cody Rhodes didn't start as the Universal Champion. He started as the son of Dustin Rhodes, who was a wrestling hero in the 1980s. And of course, Cody Rhodes is the half-brother of Dustin Rhodes, the controversial character from the 1990s and early 2000s. But what everyone knows is that no Rhodes has ever been a champion. And Cody Rhodes has this long road ahead of him in order to become champion and, quote, finish the story. Along the way, Cody Rhodes had to overcome all kinds of challenges in order to become the hero. I mean, everybody remembers that period where he played Stardust, this ridiculous character, or undashing Cody Rhodes. What a horrible character he had to play for a long time just to make his way in the industry, which of course is why he left WWE and became one of the chairmen of AEW before his heroic return back to WWE. But of course, that's not where it ended. When it looked like he was going to win the Universal Champion after winning the Royal Rumble in 2023, it was stolen from him by Solo Sikoa at the very last minute, and he lost the championship match to Roman Reigns. We all thought it was over at this point. Well, those of you who watched it thought it was over at that point, until his triumphant return when he won the Royal Rumble in back-to-back years and then finally finished the story at WrestleMania in 2024. Now, I've never seen it. This is just what people have told me, but this is a story that perfectly matches the hero's journey of the everyman with a dream who has to overcome challenges along the way. And without the challenges along the way, there's no story. There's no payoff. There is no hero. The hero's story requires that there are challenges and obstacles along the way. And every living person in the world is on their own hero's journey. They have a dream. They have a vision for their life. They want to become something. But there are things along the way that are in the way of them becoming the hero. Your job as a brand is to alleviate those problems so that other people become the hero in their own journey. But what does this have to do with profitability in business? Well, if you want to have a screamingly profitable, successful business, then you need to be in the business of helping one type of person become the hero in their own story. If you become the business that is known for helping one specific person become the hero in their story, then you will be wildly profitable and wildly successful. But most businesses can't because they never choose who that person is and they never define what that story is going to look like and what challenges they will help that person overcome in the context of their story. Let me be very clear about something. People pay to solve their problems, and the price that they are willing to pay is not relative to what other people charge for the same product. The price that they're willing to pay is in direct correlation to the confidence that they have that your brand can solve their problem. Most entrepreneurs price their products and their services relative to what the competitors are charging, and then they try to charge a little bit less. But when you speak to a specific person, and when you help them overcome the pain points en route to them becoming the hero in their own story, they will choose you not based on price or features relative to what everybody else is doing. They will choose you in comparison to what it costs for them to not become the hero in their story. When a customer believes that you are part of their solution to them evolving into their vision of themselves, they will pay any price, and they will give no regard to the difference in price or to the difference in features. And you get to be the brand that advocates for their transformation for not just one or two purchases, but sometimes for decades. That's when your brand has a ton of value and you have loyal customers who are willing to pay a premium, even if your competitors are selling the exact same thing at a cheaper price. To bring this home, I want to tell you one more story about an entrepreneur that I was working with here in my home. I used to do workshops here at my home in Austin, Texas, and I would have 10 people around a table. I would be working through their businesses and I'd be helping them with this kind of stuff. There was a young entrepreneur in the group that had built a business to about $40,000 a month in top line revenue. So about $500,000 a year. And he was selling a very basic medical device like knee sleeves or compression socks or something like that, a very basic commodity product. And I told him that the way that he would grow is by choosing one specific person that he was going to advertise his products to. This was so hard for him because he was stuck with, well, runners buy my product and geriatrics buy my product and this type of person buy my product. How do I choose one person when all these different people buy my product? So I did a little exercise with him. I said, I want you to pick one of those people, anyone. It doesn't matter who you pick, and I won't hold you to this. Just pick one of those people. And he said, okay, athletes. And I said, if you were speaking to athletes, what would your second, third, and fourth product be? And he went boom, boom, boom. He knew exactly what his next product would be. And I said, if you were selling to the other group, geriatrics, what would your next products be? And he said it would be this, this, and this. And he knew exactly what it would be. Up until that point, he had been in his head for months figuring out, what second product do I launch? How do I grow this business? Why am I stuck at $40,000 a month with one product? I got a little business here, but I have no idea what to do next. The thing that took him beyond that was choosing one person to serve, and he knew exactly what the next products would be. He wrote me an email 3 months later that his business had grown over $100,000. His business more than doubled as the result of one simple decision, choosing who he would serve. How do you know that you have this clearly defined? It's real simple. When you can fill in these blanks, I help blank accomplish blank. For example, I help entrepreneurs build $1 million businesses. And there's a lot of challenges and obstacles that come along that journey. There's choosing your person, there's getting a product made, there's learning basic marketing so that you can sell your product effectively. There's a whole bunch of mindset stuff that comes up. There's outgrowing your friends. There is managing cash flow. There's, holy crap, I have $1 million business. What do I do now? There is, I'm going to sell my business. How do I maximize the value? These are all challenges that come up with the entrepreneurs that I work with. And right now we're doing an 8-part series that goes through the journey to having $1 million business. I'm confident that if you follow these 8 steps over the course of a year, you will have a successful business that will at least be in striking distance of $1 million. My book is called 12 Months to 1 Million. It sold hundreds of thousands of copies. And it sounds like a hypey title. Gary Vaynerchuk even said, as douchey as this title is, I'm confident it will inspire a new type of entrepreneur. But the premise of this book is that if for 12 months you're serving one core group of people and you're adding value to them, you pass everybody else because nobody else is willing to do that, even for a year. We're in the middle of the biggest sprint we've ever done to help entrepreneurs get off the sidelines, launch their first product, and be on the road to $1 million. We've already helped hundreds of entrepreneurs do this, and we're in a sprint right now where we are helping entrepreneurs who have followed my work or newly discovering my work to get off the sidelines and into the game. And the first step of that is choosing who you serve. If you need some specific help, like you need some help choosing this for yourself, or you're already in business and you need to come back and do this work, there's a couple ways that you can get some help. One, the best place to get started is by downloading our free resources over at capitalism.com/playbook. That is where all of our best podcasts, case studies, and lessons are available for free. Since my job is to help entrepreneurs be the hero in their own story, let me share this with you. One of the big challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs face at the beginning of their journey is launching the first product. Launching that first product means choosing what it's going to be, building a group of people that actually want that product, and then speaking to them in a way that creates conversions. And if you do it right, there are people in our community who have $25,000 launches, $100,000 launches, and that gives them the momentum to be able to do the additional steps that take them to that $1 million run rate. If you want to go through that process of launching your first product, one of the first steps I would encourage you to take is to sign up for the waiting list that we have for something called the Capitalism Accelerator. This is a week-by-week sprint where you're given action items en route to launching your first product. You will choose your person, you will build a small group of people to launch to, and you will take sales of your first product. It is not uncommon for people to come out of that process with $10,000 in sales, which is all the funding that they need to be able to develop the rest of the steps that take them to $1 million business. So if you need help overcoming that first hurdle en route to your $1 million business, you can go over to capitalism.com/launch and sign up for the waiting list for the accelerator, and we'll let you know when it's open next. Knowing your person is the first of the 8 steps to building a $1 million business because it makes all other decisions easier and more profitable. The next step of the process is to build a small group of those people so that you can communicate with them and launch your first product to them. That's what we're going to talk about in the next part of this series. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you see every step in this process. And over the next 8 weeks, we will be talking through each of the 8 steps of this process so that you see exactly what it looks like to build a $1 million business over the next 12 months. I'm Ryan Daniel Moran with capitalism.com. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next lesson.